Hey guys, so impromptu video. In this video, I'm going to show you how to import contacts into a sales CRM called Salesmate. So it was a issue my team were struggling with, and I want to go right from the top to share with you how I approached and how I solved the problem. So this is the success image of me importing a series of contact records for a client that we had at the time. 283 records were created. So I want to share with you what I did, because the issue that my team had, if I go ahead and open it up, was that we're getting ultimately a lot of rejections, and therefore the entire contact database wasn't being imported. So let me walk you through how to do it in Salesmate, and perhaps more importantly, if I can get this damn thing to open, let me show you what the process that I followed. So first of all, I Googled it. Upload call list to Salesmate. That was literally the first thing that I did, because I don't like to search around within a platform. I like to Google it because someone's typically had the issue before, and then it will direct me to the exact page which I need to go to. So I went to here, first of all, import contact Salesmate, and I look at the images. I say, okay, cool. I need to find the manage data page from profile. Just go ahead into my Salesmate account, and I'll show you what I did. So go ahead and log into Salesmate. I've got the instructions now. It'll ask you to log in and do two-factor authentication or whatever it is, but just go ahead and log in. So you go into here, top right, you go to setup, you go to modules, and then in manage data. Then manage data, have an import using file section. So basically from here, you can grab a CSV file. Let me go ahead and share with you the one that I was sent, in fact. So I'll actually open up WhatsApp and I'll share with you the file that I was sent, so you can have a look. And this will be typical of a contact database that you might have, and you'll have it in a Google Sheet or something like that. So I'll go ahead and just go to, and you see there's a Salesmate chat here. We were talking about various issues, and just to backtrack, this is the original issue that came up. So as you can see, there's a high rejection rate, 24. Most contacts were rejected. So issue with uploading spreadsheet. So I went ahead and opened up the spreadsheet. So these are just some of the things that I do to sanity check stuff. So most sales CRMs, if you've used them, tend to map data in all available columns. So I tend to remove redundant columns. So if I show you what it looked like just before, it's a simple thing. See if I'm able to do it. I'm not, but you probably get it, right? On the right-hand side, there are a bunch of columns, empty columns going all the way across, and they looked something like this. So I go ahead and I delete all of these columns. So that's the first thing that I do. I delete the columns. So I did that. And then quickly what I do to just make sure I've got all of the right data, I do that. And then what I'll tend to do is I'll do this to keep them the same size. Make that a bit smaller still. And then I'll go ahead and I'll wrap the data like that. So then we've got a data set. So I do that. And I downloaded the CSV because I see that CSVs typically tend to be the safest type of data. So I went into here, select module. Now, Salesmate is a full service CRM. Now we're using it for cold calls. So I don't think I need activity and appointments, because there's no activity and appointments are attached to this campaign. So I wouldn't bother uploading them, because I think, well, there's no activity, there's no appointment. So it's a new data set. So they're the two sheets I want. So I did download the sample spreadsheet, just take a look at it. So I'll go ahead and you'll just see I've got sample CSV here. So what I notice is that there's names for all of the titles, and okay, cool, fine. So I go ahead and I take a look at my sheet and I think, all right, fine, let me download it. So I'll download that because this is what I was sent by my team. Let me just import it and see what happens. You can see that I've already done this previously there. So go ahead and just drag and drop it in. So it's got the file now. We'll go to next just to see what happens. Now, what you'll see, and this wasn't the case before, is that all of the titles weren't mapped to columns. So what I did was, there's two modules that we care about. So modules are, I think, the category levels based upon my understanding. So you've got contact information, and then you've got company information. So these are the two things that you want. So you need to map them to either company or contact. And then some of these will be blank. So a good example was that industry isn't a actual field that Salesmate has in its CRM. We know this because I went in here, and originally, let me just have a look, headcount wasn't there. So what I did is, and this is under company fields. So they give you all the possible fields. You need to map it to a company field they recognize, because you need to change it into the language of the tool. If you don't change it into the language of the tool, it rejects a record because it doesn't understand what you're importing. So what I did, I went ahead and I'll just do it again for another purpose. You can go into here, and then you can just select the kind of field that you want. I was like, yeah, fuck it, text. Let's do text. And let's just do test. And you'll see it's got an internal name, default section, whatever. So I import that. And boom, if you don't do this, I think you'll often find it might allow me to do it still because I've already mapped the columns, but it will stop you from fundamentally importing records here if you haven't mapped the fields. So here we go. You've mapped one or more company fields. Please map the company name to continue. So I need to map all of these fields, meaning you need to categorize the columns that you put in, company. And then once you've done this also company, you can see now. So I've got the module, but I don't have the field. Give me the field. So if you convert all of this, is where typically people stumble, you'll then be able to make it happen. So let's just, for the sake of arguments, go ahead to test this out. Just go ahead and do a quick separate one. So what I'll do is I'll just make a copy, test Salesmate. We'll go ahead and we'll just delete a bunch of records because we only need to do it with one. So we go ahead and let's just double check because it said it imported. I don't even know how many imported, to be honest with you. Let's have a look if it imported them all because I have the previous number. So there's 151 records in here. So I'll keep one. Test, 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 test. Okay, fine. So we've got this records in here now. We'll go ahead and download this. Download it as a CSV file. We'll pop back into here. Now, what's interesting is it created 283 records, which means maybe because I allowed it to create duplicates, it's possible. Salesmate reference, CSV reference, contacts, companies. So to be honest with you, that's something that I need to investigate because it appears that there's too many records. But anyway, in any event, for the moment, we've got a new record. Let's go ahead and just test this out. So go ahead and also give it a different name. So rather than revenue, industry, we might also want country. So let's just say country. So we've got a new field now, country, that we've not had before. So go ahead and download this now into a CSV file. So we've got that. So we've got the new one. Dive into here, import, contact, company. Hit next, choose the file. Go ahead. This one, in we go. Small file. Great. So now, I think I've imported the wrong file, potentially. Let's try again. Import using file, contacts, company. Next, choose file. Let's double check. Test Salesmate sheet. Now, this is not what I imported. So lovely jubbly. Now the test is not working at all, which is odd. So probably, please map the company name to import. I wonder if it's still working off the old import. Maybe that's what it is. So one of the surefire ways that I might solve it sometimes, what I do, because I'm coming up against a bug. I say a bug, an issue that I've not seen before. So I'm going to do the old just log out, log in, see if that just wipes the data. It might not wipe the data because it might be stored at an account level. So wiping it might wipe my cache locally, but it might not wipe the data in here. So let's see. So go into here, I go back to manage data, we go to import, migrate, dive in here. Let's just have a look at what it says now. Let's try a different way. Let's go in here, see if that works. Okay, cool. There you go. Log in, log out, fixed it. So now it's mapped it as close. Oh, we already have country, to be honest with you. So we have country. So in this instance, but an example would be when it doesn't recognize it. Yeah, still allowing me to import. I'm trying to figure out how to trigger that thing that I did. Oh, well, okay. Well, it looks like it's fine. Anyway, so we go to contact, then we want to map the Salesmate field. So of course we do, what is that? Headcount. So we go find headcount. I think we should have that in here under company. No, this is contact. So you get to company. Do I have it here? Contact fields. Oh, it's because I've got contact. Headcount, that's company. So there you go. That's a good example. Now it shows the company fields, I beg your pardon. So number of employees would be headcount. So it does have a name for number of employees. or headcount. So, it's a bit of duplication there, but it's fine. Country, that would be company. And then that could be individual potentially also, but so we got that, we go there. So now we've got these fields. So you can decide these things, merge or upload a new data. So you might want to have new data and not merge if you're calling the same list, but for two different campaigns, or two different guys are calling the same list because whatever. But anyway, I verified, start the import, and it should just pull through. It'll tell you in progress, 2 records created. Now, why? No, I think it created 2 records because maybe of the title. Let's have a look. It created 2. I see. Maybe it creates 2 because it's 1 for company and 1 for contact, maybe. Because we've got 1 in contact and then 1 in companies. So technically it's 2 records because it's in 2 areas, and that's how, okay, I've solved it. That's why there's double, because Salesmate considers it to be in 2 areas because you're uploading company and contact. Bit strange, but I think that would account for why this is 283, whilst in the sheet there is probably 151, 300. Yeah, some of these maybe were rejected. It could be something to do with that. But at this point, because we have had a successful merge, when there's small nuances, I would then record a loom and send it to the chat to find out the specific differences. And then to do that, I think on the left-hand side somewhere, there's help and support, start chat. And then I'd record a loom just to ask them some of those nuances. But that is the way that I'd approach a problem. And I hope this makes sense. Do you have any questions, Evan?
No, you've outlined it pretty nicely. I've actually got a better understanding of. Before I didn't see the file columns, file names columns on the left. I thought it was just internal to Salesmate, but now I know that.
Okay, cool. All right, wicked. Well, yeah, have a go. If you run into any other problems, let me know, or just do what I do, record a loom, run it by support and see if they help you, mate.
Yeah, okay, brilliant. Thank you.
Wicked. All right, see you.
All right, thanks.
Nice.